So back to the story. Eileen and Peter Caddy and a woman by the name of Dorothy McLean were guided to a spot and told to plant a garden. And they used all kinds of methods, including hauling manure from a farm down the road and doing attunement prayers to the landscapes, connecting with the energies in the earth to make this garden grow. And they became famous for their 40-pound cabbages. They became famous. When you go there now, you'll see roses that are above the roof line. I have pictures of them. Their flowers are huge. Their earth is very vital from the energy that they have cultivated all these years in their communion with Spirit. They run a program there with the United Nations where they build eco-houses and where they teach people about sustainability and how to live in harmony with the earth. They have the distinction of the lowest carbon footprint on the earth. So, 3 adults and 3 children on unemployment benefits who had been fired from Peter's work at the hotel decided to start growing vegetables in a caravan park with sandy, dry soil. Dorothy McLean discovered that she had an uncanny ability to intuitively contact what she called overlighting spirits of the plants. She later called them angels or devas, and they gave her instructions on how to make the most results from their fledgling gardens. Even specific things like how to get rid of the cinch bugs. Dorothy had a gift since she was a child for being able to connect and to love nature. And Eileen had her special gift. She had a capacity to tune in to a dimension of intelligence that would help the entire community to live in harmony. Just her words. To this day, the Findhorn community reflects on Eileen's words before they start their day. So the Caddies and Dorothy soon outgrew their original caravan and started to build bigger houses. And New Age pioneer Sir George Trevelyan and Scottish esoterist R. Ogilvy Crombie and Richard St. Barber Baker, the man of the trees, all came to join them in their quest. And later, a young American spiritual teacher, David Spangler, and his wife. In 1972, the community was formally registered as a Scottish charity. By the end of the 1980s, the Eco Village project at Findhorn was begun with an energy-producing wind generator and the first eco-friendly building. There's so much I could tell you about Findhorn. But for me, at that time, a year ago, again, I had become very discouraged. I hadn't had a thought about Findhorn since the 1980s. I didn't really think it still existed. I had been to a lot of spiritual communities. Most of them look better on the internet. I'd been to a lot of eco-villages. They definitely look better on the internet. And I was really sure when I started waking up in the middle of the night with this go to Findhorn message that it was just my ego trying to find a way out of my very stressful job at a church in Jacksonville. I was being pressured by my board to become more Christian, which for someone like me is impossible. It's impossible for me to narrow my point of view. I don't want to. And I'm political. I kind of was teased on the philosophy of Dr. Martin Luther King. I was part of the Albert Schweitzer Foundation. You know, I just couldn't be contained that way. And so it was a constant struggle. It was the first time in my life that I was in struggle with the people that I worked closest with. And I had a board of people who didn't get me at all. And so I kept thinking, this is just my ego. I'm supposed to go to Findhorn because I'm supposed to change my consciousness. You know, the geographical cure has never worked for me before. Been there, done that. You know, so I just kept stuffing it down. I'd journal about it. I didn't even look for Findhorn on the web. I knew a few people who'd been there. They weren't terribly impressed. And that was a long time ago. And so I just didn't do it. And that summer I found myself at Chautauqua. Do you know Chautauqua Institution, anybody? Yeah. It's a great liberal, religious, and spiritual institution in our country, and political. It's a wonderful place, and it's a great place to vacation. And so every now and again I'm a speaker there. And when I was at Chautauqua, complete strangers, 2 of them, asked me if I'd ever thought of going to Findhorn. And I just thought that was hilarious. Sometimes God speaks to us, I think, through other people. Sometimes our highest good comes to us in the reflection in other people's eyes. I don't know what it was about me that people thought I should go to Findhorn, but I got it. After I came back from Chautauqua, I just surrendered, and I booked my plane reservations for Scotland. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I ended up going. And when my feet touched the ground in Scotland, I don't think I've ever been happier in my entire life. Findhorn was so much more than I ever thought it would be. Findhorn has created a community of people that are 200 in residence and that start their day in song. They sing in a hut. I have pictures of it with lavender growing out of the roof that looks like the Hobbit should step out of it. And so as this, you know, in perfect darkness, people are finding their way to this little stone building, and the singing begins. And then people go off to work. And I believe that the success of Findhorn, both the retreat center, the college, the 2 sites for retreats that they have on the island of Iona and the island of Arad, and the huge capacity they have to do things in a way that is not top-down, but is a new kind of leadership, is because of the 3 very unique, different people that laid the foundation at Findhorn. Peter Caddy represents that part of us that, like a good Air Force officer, you know, has a structure and a plan and has a way of doing things. And Eileen represented the intuitive aspects of ourselves, you know, that can have that capacity to do a deeper contemplation. And Dorothy had the connection with the environment, the nature, the earth itself. And the 3 of them co-created a very unique model for community that is humbling to the people who are there and is intriguing to people who would have our life here be different, but we don't know how. So what Findhorn offered me was a picture of what life could be like and a glimpse of building community from the inside out. That any community, yours here, mine where I live, is always a reflection of the collective intelligence of its people. And so capacity building in those areas is really important. So that's all I have for today. But if you have more questions about Findhorn, or if you'd like to learn some of the attunements, I'll be here after the service